What is going on, Boiler Nation? You're listening and or watching another edition of the Boiler Breakdown podcast. I'm one of the hosts, Evan Webb, along here with Andrew Idler, because Tanner is not here at the moment. A little
He's having some
preoccupied.
plumbing issues, apparently.
Having some plumber issues. Hey-o. How's it going tonight, Andrew?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Probably be a pretty short show today. We say that, of course, then we'll talk for 2 hours. But as mentioned, Tanner will be on here shortly. But don't really have a game to recap as our Boilers had a bye this past week, a much needed bye. And the question is, did the Boilers win the bye week?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, it started off really good with a couple recruits. I mean, they got that 4-star quarterback from Louisiana, and there was
Collins.
and there was a wide receiver who was one of their top targets that flipped from Utah.
Yeah, it was Utah State.
I think it was Utah. Zion Steptoe or something.
Yeah,
but then apparently there's some injuries this week. I don't know how that happens.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like the injuries happened. What Mershon Rice referencing it happened during the Notre Dame game, which I don't remember if that was even known public. I know we knew it was hurt. I don't know if we knew if it was injury sustained in the Notre Dame game.
I think it came out of it that he got hurt, and apparently he didn't come back toward the end of the game, but I didn't notice this either at the time. I do remember after the game that they said he got banged up.
And then we found out that during the Jeff Brom show that Abdur-Rahman Yassin, another receiver, got hurt in practice this last week, and he's out for the remainder of the season, along with Mershon Rice, who has to get surgery. So, but we did learn that we should have Payne Durham back. We should have Corey Trice back full for this game against Iowa this weekend. Horvath probably that's a hard no. Obviously, another weekend for David Bell to get even more healthy. So yeah, kind of definitely looking pretty strong, and then it kind of, as we found out today, that more injuries. And I don't understand what's going on.
I mean, it's at wide receiver. We do have depth, but
yeah,
two guys that have shown promise in their limited playing time so far. It's kind of take all the weapons you can get when you're going against the number 2 team in the country.
Yeah. And looking to that Iowa game, I mean, you just said the number 2 team in the country, thanks to Alabama losing over the weekend to Texas A&M, which none of us called that. I think were we all called blowouts? Is that what we said was going to happen?
It's Alabama. Alabama beats everybody by 40.
Right. Yeah. But I was.
Yeah.
Well, sorry. Go ahead.
Off topic.
Go for it.
I was like, is that Saban's first loss to an unranked opponent?
That's a great question. I have no idea. Hopefully maybe someone in the chat can let us know if they want to look that up. I know it's his first loss to a former assistant.
Yeah.
I think it's the first, but I'm not sure about one of his first loss to an unranked opponent, especially being number 1 in the country. But we're playing the number 2 team in the country coming up this week with the Iowa Hawkeyes. 6-0. I mean, first look, I guess first house, how do you feel going into this game?
Not good. Well, I mean, I don't know. I go back and forth. I just feel like this is going to be super ugly.
Yeah.
I think Iowa's offense won't do anything, but I think Purdue's offense will do less.
Right. That's kind of where I'm going. I mean, I feel oddly good about it. I think because the fact that we've done so well against them in the past, or at least under Brom. I mean, even under Hope, we had some good wins. But Brom's 3-1 against Iowa, with the one loss coming in 2019, which is a close one. But they're number 2 for a reason, and I think I go back because I start to feel really good about it. I'm like, well, hold on, we scored 13 points against Illinois, so what are we going to do against a team that's averaging 5 takeaways a game or something? Or is it something like
20 turnovers. They forced 20 turnovers, 16 interceptions.
Yeah.
So I was also, now I'm thinking about that. Maybe Purdue has two takeaways.
Yeah. It happened in the first 2 games.
Yeah, Oregon State and UConn.
Yeah, and the UConn one was a garbage time. So really, it's 1. I don't even know who made the.
I saw it today, and I didn't know who he was.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Sean Green.
Because we had the Cam Allen pick in the Oregon State game, but Yeah,
So maybe the Iowa defense, it's all those turnovers is fluky, and Purdue's lack of turnovers is fluky, and they're gonna flip. So maybe Purdue's due for like 4 picks of. Is it Spencer Petrus? Is that the
Petrus,
Spencer? That was his name? Petrus.
Which I mean, we beat them last year, first game of the season. Obviously, that was when Coach Brom Jeff Brom was out with COVID, and Brian was kind of running the show. And then thank God we played them when we did, because then they kind of went on a tear at the end of the year. And they kind of just picked up right where they left off starting this year with when they trounced Indiana to start the year, which you just hate to see that. But they beat a Penn State team this last weekend that was, was a top 5 matchup. Granted, argue Penn State probably wins that game had Clifford not got hurt, but they won, and we got the man Tanner Lee back with us now. How's it going, Tanner?
Sorry about
Thank
that.
God the show can go on now.
Hey, I'm sure you guys are handling it just fine, so I wasn't worried.
Well, you'll find out when you edit the podcast. So.
I will.
But one of the questions asked at the top of the show, Tanner, was obviously we're coming off a bye week. Did the Boilers win the bye week? Knowing what we know as of 20 minutes ago.
I would have said yes until 20 minutes ago. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, no. So, wide receiver depth definitely took a hit. I mean, at least we still are deep at that position. But, man, I feel like every year a young receiver starts to come on for Purdue and then he gets hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And,
both of them had flashes. Rice had a couple good catches at Notre Dame, and then I didn't even notice that he wasn't back in. And then, Racine, he had some ridiculous catches in the rain against Minnesota.
In that diving catch against Illinois. I'm just starting to wonder, what are we doing in practice? Why are so many guys getting hurt in practice?
Does this happen to other teams?
I'm sure it does, but since we follow Purdue the closest, we only noticed it happens to Purdue.
But also, too, with a team like Purdue, it's very rare that we're built to withstand these amount of injuries. True. It's like, every team has a breaking point when it comes to injuries, but, like in Alabama and Ohio State, those guys, if, a star goes down, they've probably, it may not, the person backing up is backing up for a reason, but they're probably
a 4-star,
5-star. They're going against these guys in practice every day, so they're, a little bit better off. But it just seems like with teams like Purdue that are kind of middle of the pack, we might have some elite guys like a Carl Office or David Bell, but once you get past those guys, there's a drop off, and it's at least in certain positions. Offensive line, that's where we just can't afford to lose guys. I think receiver, there's definitely less of a drop off with some of the guys, but there's some positions we just cannot afford to lose guys.
Yeah, like offensive line, it started in the offseason. Lost 3 guys. We thought that was going to be a deep position for us, and it's now
final.
Yeah. So, that was. I did not like reading that when you had sent that over this afternoon, or this evening. But is what it is. Let's see if we can go pull off the upset at Iowa. I'm not feeling the greatest about it, but Brom is 3-1 against them. I think it's going to be a low scoring game.
Yeah.
I'm not too concerned about their offense now. I say that they'll go hang 40 on us, but our defense has been playing good. It's just, can our offense score enough? I think we'll be able to move the ball. It's just, can we score in the red zone? Because Iowa's bread and butter is their secondary, and they force a ton of turnovers.
Granted, they did just lose their top rated defensive back, which, they're still going to be pretty dang solid back there. But, and then, I know early in the week, Brom had a press conference, and he didn't say that, a certain starter was named yet. So who do you guys?
I think it's. I don't know. I think it's got to be O'Connell, and I don't know. I think Jeff's just doing the coach speak, being coy, not giving Iowa anything.
Yeah,
to prep for.
I agree. I'd be really surprised if it's not Aiden O'Connell. So
I kind of go back and forth of I think I like what Aiden's done in terms of moving the ball, but just given the fact that Iowa's so opportunistic with turnovers and Aiden's been more prone, it's like, does he go with the guy who hasn't thrown a pick all year? Granted, he hasn't really moved the ball, but it's hard to move the ball when the other team's taking it away from you too.
And if he starts with Plummer, does Plummer get the quick hook after he's not moving the ball?
Yeah.
And then it's and it's kind of relates to this question, but it's kind of off topic because it involves next year. Do you think both those guys are back next year?
No.
One of them or zero?
I think
at least one of them.
I think at least one of them. I think if one goes, then like the other one's going to be it's going to be their job to lose by yeah.
Does Burton have another year?
Yep.
Or can he?
Yep.
I would be fairly surprised if he's still here next year, just because he hasn't had any opportunity. I mean, even he had like 3 snaps against Minnesota. I hope we see him more. I hope he gets more of an opportunity, just because
especially like in the red zone or something different.
Got to do something different. What we've been doing is not working. So I'd love to see him get like 10 to 12 snaps, just to change it up a little bit.
I want to see him throw it like 5 times.
Sure. Add that wrinkle in there. I mean, have to get creative.
I want to see both of. I want to see 2 quarterbacks on the field. Let's go full Danny Hope and put all 3 of them out there.
Or how about what the Chiefs did the other night and lined 3 different guys up at quarterback on one play until Mahomes took the snap. I'd never seen that in a game before.
I didn't see that. Wow.
Kelsey lined up, and then I think it was Tyreek Hill lined up, and then Mahomes finally came in, lined up, and took the snap. It was just like, wow, I've never seen that, and it worked. I think he threw a touchdown.
How about Purdue does that? They put O'Connell shotgun with Plummer and Burton on each side of him, and then some trickery.
Why not?
Yeah,
why not?
Shovel
it to Burton.
Yeah, shovel it to Burton. He'll run off to the side, and if he can run, he'll run. If not, he'll throw it back over to Plummer, who bombs it. There we go.
Yeah, it's a wheel. It's a pitch to Plummer while Burton's running a wheel.
Sketch that up, Webby, and email that to Jeff right now. Sketch it up.
Does Madden have a play creator? Like
if not, it should.
Yeah, go simulate it in Madden, see how it works out with the best athletes in the world.
Probably not well. Let's be honest. But
I feel like sorry to just go back to O'Connell. I was kind of thinking the same thing though with the turnovers, but I'm also like, it's the number 2 team in the country. He's got, like we said, this against Notre Dame. You got nothing to lose. At number 2 team in the country.
Right. 3:30 ABC.
Double-digit underdogs. Yeah.
If O'Connell goes wild and throws 600 yards but throws 4 picks, that's probably at least you're probably scoring.
Yeah, true. I hope.
I mean, 4 picks wouldn't be ideal, and you're probably giving away a lot of points. But
this is a game I would hope to see. We just say screw it and just let it rip. Like I just absolutely throw bombs.
I just want and maybe you guys hit on this a little bit before I got on. I want to see the defense force some turnovers. My God.
Right.
Mm-hmm. That's what I think you were coming on and just said maybe hopefully it's like fluky and Purdue's just being incredibly unlucky and I was being pretty lucky. Yes, Iowa defense is really good and good at forcing turnovers, but 20 through 5 games is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's and 2 through 5 games is embarrassing. Even Purdue, though a lot of it's luck, but
I think not even that. But I want to see some sacks too, just because I mean, Georgia's getting triple teamed. It's like someone's got to get through and held every play.
It hasn't helped that DeMarcus Mitchell hasn't been healthy really all year.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like the line's played pretty well, and it's helping. And that's why the defense. I mean, they're getting pressure, it's just not finishing. Yeah, and I don't know.
We forced some fumbles and just haven't been able to recover. I mean, we had I think the one against Illinois where Grant was right there and just couldn't. Yep. He just didn't get to it in time.
And that's where it seems kind of like fluky, kind of unlucky, to where it's like, okay, that's if someone fumbles half the time, maybe I don't know, it should be, but it should be kind of. I mean, offenses end maybe 60% of the time the offense is going to recover because they're going to be in a better position.
Well, I think even the Oregon State game, I think there's a couple times where a guy like would fumble, but it would bounce right. I think he'd like bounce right back up to him. It's like. I feel like if that was us, like we would have like kicked it into the stands or something.
Well, didn't Graham have a strip sack? Was that against Notre Dame? Who was this early on in one of the games, and it went back, and then it was the same thing. I think like an offensive lineman like kicked it and dove on it, but it would have been a huge. It was maybe it was Iowa or not Iowa. Maybe it was Oregon
Illinois,
State
or I can't remember.
I don't remember.
Yep, and we just haven't seemed to get like the ricochet bounces for a pick or anything.
Mm-hmm. I mean, close, a couple times, but just Which I think again is like just being in the right. I mean, it's the right time, right place, and that scheme or whatever. I mean, it really just. I mean, I don't know enough about coaching to know.
And maybe I'm just being way too optimistic. But if there's a right time to get Iowa, maybe it's coming off a high, beating a team like Penn State.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they're definitely feeling themselves this week.
It's gonna take a big performance from somebody, whether it be David Bell, who ripped them up last year and the year before. 2018, it was Terry Wright. 2017, Anthony Mahongu. It's always like one wide receiver that has a heyday against the Hawkeyes, and If somebody goes off, I think it's Milton Wright's turn.
I'd love that. Honestly, I think huge key to the game is going to have to be if we can get King Daru going. Because if we don't have a run game, we can only pass. It's going to be ugly. I feel like so they're just going to just sit back, and I think they play a lot of zone. If I read that right, so they kind of keep a lot of stuff in front of them. So, but yeah, I think we have to get there. Daru looked good in the Illinois game. So
I told you guys
Minnesota game. I mean,
I think I sent it to you like a week and a half ago. After that, King Daru's averaging like 5 yards a carry. I had no idea.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that.
I would not have either. He's like 221 yards or something on 48 carries.
I think we'll see Payne Durham in a lot of action this week. So hopefully,
good to have him back. That's for sure.
Yeah, it will be nice to have him back. Of course, get somebody back, lose 2 guys. Typical.
Yeah.
But Purdue football recruiting got some big news last week. 2 new recruits, wide receiver and a stud quarterback, 4-star from Louisiana, Ricky Collins. That took me by surprise.
Yeah, it's not very often Purdue's in the SEC country and pulls out an SEC caliber player, let alone a freaking quarterback.
Right.
What is it? Number 2, number 3 ranked?
Two dual threat in the country. Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, a long ways to go until he signs on the dotted line, but got to start somewhere. And it's pretty good for Jeff. That's 3 years in a row. He's got Michael Lima was a 4-star, Brady Allen's a 4-star, Ricky Collins is a 4-star.
Have you seen? Speaking of Brady Allen, he's like 50 touchdowns and no picks this season,
and that's in a lot of like halves. They pull him at halftime most of those games. So I mean that is my. That's what if O'Connell and Plummer both leave, I wouldn't be opposed. If Allen's better than Limo, because I'm assuming he would.
It seems like a lot.
Yeah,
it seems like a lot to come in as a true freshman.
It is pretty. That's not the Purdue way, but
especially if like
it's not college football.
If it's like a do or die season for Brom, it's like, all right, here I'm gonna put my career on the hands of an 18-year-old.
Well, call me crazy. I think Brom's gonna get a contract extension this offseason.
They have to. They have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to have 4 or 5 years at least.
Which is gonna piss off a lot of people.
It will. I mean, I was thinking about this morning. I mean, assuming he comes back, I think it's a pretty safe bet right now. That'll be his 6th year. I mean, that's going to be by far the second longest coach we've seen in our lifetime around Purdue football.
Yeah, which is crazy. I mean, for whatever reason, it feels like Hope was here forever.
I know. He's only 4 years.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
4 long years.
Yeah.
Hazel was for
3.5 years.
No, that felt like an eternity. Oh, my God.
I don't know. There were some comparisons online. Who was it? Stoops? No, not Stoops. I don't know who it was. They were like, look at. I don't know. It was someone's trajectory. Maybe it was. I don't know. I'm gonna give up on trying to figure out what it was. But it was someone who like at like West Virginia or something like that. Their first 4 or 5 years, they were like right around 500, like very similar to Brom, but then his years like 7, but then like they got an extension, was probably on the hot seat because he's 500 for 4 or 5 years and not making a huge jump. And then years like 6 through 12, then won off and won like 70% of their games. And now the guy's been there for 15, 20 years. I don't know. What was Ferentz? Maybe Ferentz would be one. I mean, like, what did he do his first 5 years? I have no idea.
Iowa wasn't very good his first couple of years.
No.
And then
now he's been there 2 decades.
I would say about his 4th or 5th year, they started taking off.
Well, someone posted on the boards, I think it was last week, like under Hazel, what our records were against unranked, or what our scores were against unranked teams. And as you got more into his career, it got worse. Like losing like 40 something to 14 to Maryland, like just getting just.
That Maryland game was 50-7. I remember that one. I remember that one. The lineman, I forget his first. I think his name was Jalen. Maybe his last name was Neal. If he's listening, I'm sorry. Worst offensive lineman I've ever seen at Purdue. He got whooped so many times that Maryland game. Didn't even touch guys. Oh my God.
But it's like you look at like scores like that, and it's like, I mean, we were bad. I mean, Brown's over.
Bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Ferentz probably isn't a good, and maybe he is. I don't know. So I just found him. So he started his first season in Iowa was 1999.
Yep, longest tenure coach in college football.
They went 1-10, then 3-9, then
It's like
7-5, then 11-2, 10-3, 10-2, and I'm like, okay, so you win 11 games your fourth year. Never mind, that's not a great comparison.
Yeah, maybe not so much. But Andrew, I know you got to get off here soon of the podcast, so let's hurry up and do some score predictions around the Big Ten.
That's some good games.
Yeah, good games, but small slate of games again.
Yeah.
Only 5 this week. Starting with number 10, Michigan State. They are bowl eligible now at 6-0 at Indiana.
I think this is like a prime upset pick for a lot of people. I mean, Penix is hurt, so they're going to start Tuttle.
Yep.
And
It could be a blessing in disguise for them.
Yeah,
it could be. But I also saw Tuttle against Ole Miss last year in their bowl game, and he did not look very good.
True.
And their offense, I mean, someone put on Twitter, some IU fan, that the difference between IU and Michigan, or Indiana and Penn State was an offensive coordinator. So take that what you will.
I think they scored 0 points.
I think Michigan State wins, but I don't think they can. I think it's like a 3-point game or less. I think it's going to be.
I think the line is 4.5.
Yeah, this is a Michigan State team that puts up points. It's weird. Usually Michigan State has great defense, doesn't put up points. But my God, Thorne's whipping it around. Walker's the best running back in the conference.
I mean, they've also
2 good wide receivers.
They're also only allowing 19 points a game, so it's not like their defense is bad.
I know. Big Ten's got some good defenses. Our old buddy Malik Carr has, I think, a 1 catch for 8 yards this year.
It's basketball season, Tanner.
Yeah, he'll play a whole lot for Izzo too. I think Sparty by a touchdown. I do too. That's exactly what I was going to say. Got a comment here from Skip. Wide receivers Sullivan and Burke with 2 others out for the season might be pleasant surprise. Depth at wide receiver and running back now under microscope.
Yep. Sullivan? I haven't seen Sullivan at all.
Yeah, he's been out.
I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Yep.
Has he been hurt? Is he hurt too?
And Marcellus Moore. So. Did you guys talk about Marcellus Moore entering the transfer portal? So
then he came out.
Yeah. Sounds like he's going to go run track somewhere in the SEC. So.
Which, I mean, he's an absolute stud at track, so
yeah.
Go where you can, which kind of sucks because he would definitely been an Olympian. It would have been nice to have another Olympian under the Purdue banner, but.
Rutgers 2-point favorites at Northwestern.
This surprised me.
That's a weird line.
I mean,
I'm going Northwestern the upset. After coming off a bye week, Rutgers lost 2 in a row, ugly fashion. I know they lost to good teams in Ohio State and Michigan State, but
kind of whooped both games.
I'm going Northwestern.
They've lost 3 in a row.
Lost to Michigan too by a touchdown. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope. Greg Schiano gets them back on track.
Yeah.
I don't think Northwestern's not very good.
No, they're not. But I'm thinking give Fitz a bye week. I think they'll be ready. Here's an interesting one. Nebraska 4-point favorites at Minnesota.
Favorite game of the week.
Fleck against Frost, and Minnesota Potts is out for the season, so they're without both their top 2 running backs now. Of course.
I hate to say, but Nebraska's been playing really well lately.
Yes, they have.
They've been in so many games.
Yeah.
They could have 3 more wins right now than they do.
Against ranked teams.
Yeah, lost to Michigan State by 3, lost to Oklahoma by a touchdown.
Rocked Northwestern.
Yep.
Yeah, lost to Illinois to start the season. Forgot about that. I think Nebraska rolls in this one.
I think Nebraska wins.
I don't even know.
Meteor at its stadium.
Yeah, I don't want to think about this game.
Right.
Nebraska. Yeah. I think after watching Fleck, I think Scott Frost is lower. I think Fleck is past Frost.
I agree.
Tom Allen will pass that in a couple months. But
Harbaugh's not too far behind some of the others either.
Yeah, our buddy Ryan is a Nebraska fan. He texted that the same thing. He said Harbaugh's up there. I'm like, yeah, he would be.
Yeah, he's a douche too. 4-1 Army is a 14-point underdog at 2-3 Wisconsin.
I'm gonna go Army upset pick. Wisconsin's.
Oh, great! Have them pissed off coming into Ross State next week.
They're not pissed off already. Then.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be close. I think Wisconsin squeaks out, but I think it's like 7. I don't think they cover.
Yeah, I'll take the Badgers by 10. But Graham Mertz has not been playing well.
Yeah.
Got another comment here from Skip. also as much hype Big George got from freshman year, and we learned for him to live up to hype. I don't prescribe to he gets doubled or tripled, yada. Watch tape of all of our NFL outside linebackers / defensive ends. I hope he shows out next 3 weeks. Where has South Carolina transfer been at defensive end?
I think he's been hurt, hasn't he?
I haven't. Yeah, I have not seen him on the field like at all.
Yeah,
he had a lot of hype coming out of spring and summer and fall camp. So yeah, I don't remember him getting hurt.
Yeah, I can't remember. I'm looking at that.
But George isn't getting sacks, but he's still getting a lot of pressures on the quarterback. I think he's been playing really well. Pro Football Network has him number 2 overall in their mock drafts, their 3-round mock drafts right now. I mean, I think number 2 overall to the Lions.
I just looked up Brothers. He has 5 tackles on the season.
He's from Auburn, isn't he?
OC's from Auburn.
Oh,
right?
yes. Sorry, I'm thinking the other one. Thompson. What's his name? Is it Joe? It's like Joe Thomas or something. Yeah, I kind of forgot about him. You're right.
Yeah, I haven't seen him on the field at all.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about him. Yeah,
wrong SEC transfer.
A lot of the transfers have been doing good. So
yeah.
they haven't really been the problem. But before you log off here, Andrew, Purdue, Iowa 11.5-point favorite.
I don't know. I think this game's going to be ugly. Like, I think it's going to be like 17-6. I really.
God, I can't take watching only 6 points.
Question:
I know that's not my actual.
2 field goals.
3 safeties. You're wrong.
That's not my actual prediction. That's just what I have in my head. Just imagining how. I don't know. I think I've. It's too long ago of watching the offense move fairly well. And then
says Army by 14. Purdue upsets Iowa. Horrible weather, 24-10.
Is it supposed to be horrible weather?
It is. It is not. I just looked it up. Okay. It says 58 and clear, so it's going to be a good day for O'Connell to sling it.
So if it's bad weather, we're going to lose by like 30.
I just think Purdue can stop the run enough to make Petrus, however you say his last name, throw it a little bit because I feel like they're just going to run it, control the ball. Their punter's supposed to be really good. Obviously, Purdue's going to get pinned inside like the 5 every time just because it always happens when punters have like career days.
I'm never picking Purdue in the rain ever again. Ever. Ever. They could play – okay, maybe if they're playing UConn, but they could play UMass, who beat UConn. And yeah, UConn is not going to win a game this year. My God.
They play Clemson in like a month. But Clemson's also not very good anymore, so.
Yeah.
Good being relative. Okay, so my actual prediction, I'll say 24-14 Iowa. I just don't feel good. I think Purdue covers, but I think so, yeah.
And we don't score 13. We score 14.
There we go.
All right. We'll break that streak.
I think O'Connell has a long touchdown pass to Brock Thompson.
I think it's going to be a good game, a low-scoring game. A lot of times Purdue finds ways in close games up at Kinnick to lose heartbreakers. I think Purdue loses a heartbreaker 20-17. Late field goal gets it done for Iowa.
I want to see Purdue throw the ball like 60 times.
Why not? Just sling it around.
Other than that, yeah, we'll throw 10 interceptions.
I want to come out. Wouldn't it be great to come out and punch them in the mouth and get up like 14-0 and just silence the whole crowd? It's the last time we've done that on anybody besides UConn. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But
all right. I want to hear Webby's prediction.
Yep. He wants to do it.
21-20 Boilers. Let's go.
21-20.
He wanted to do it. I knew he wanted to do it.
Mitchell Finneran, walk-off, 50-yarder.
Hey, if Paul Griggs can do it in 2012 at Kinnick.
Right.
That was our first win at Kinnick since like the early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we've won there twice. So I want to wear the exact same combo we wore up there in 2017. I remember it was chrome helmets. That's all I remember. Which I feel like we never wear anymore.
Will those be out tomorrow? When do they tweet those out?
They should tweet it out tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Skip says player of the game is Brock Thompson. and quarterback turn tight ends surprise Iowa. Iowa's tight ends can't blitz if in coverage of our tight ends. I'm confused by that.
I think linebackers, I'm assuming. You can't blitz if they're covering our tight ends.
Gotcha. Okay. Yep, that makes sense.
Paul Paferi.
There we go.
Is that right?
Oh, Paferi. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. That's exactly what he's talking about. Yep.
Right.
Yep. All right, Andrew.
I'll see you guys.
Yep. Take it easy.
Later.
All right, Evan. Let's go around the top 25, shall we?
We shall.
California at number 9, Oregon, Friday night. Oregon's a 13.5-point favorite.
Some Pac-12 after dark.
1-4 Cal.
I know.
What happened to them?
I think Oregon rolls in this one.
Yeah, me too. What happened to Cal?
Yeah.
They stink at basketball too now. Number 24, 5-0 San Diego State at 3-3 San Jose State. The Aztecs are a 9-point favorite.
I don't know nothing about San Jose State, so I'm just going to roll with the goes chalk and San Diego State. I'm going to say they cover too.
Me too. Marshall Falk's alumni, so rolling with them.
San Diego State, I didn't know that.
Yep. Auburn 4-2 at number 17, 4-2 Arkansas.
Arkansas coming off the loss to Ole Miss, right?
Would you have, if you were an Arkansas fan, would you be happy they went for 2?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's easy to
just bad execution, but it was.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate coaches who go for the win. I guess even if you don't get it, I mean, it shows you're
on the road.
Yeah, on the road. Yeah, that's the big thing. If you're on the road, go for it. I mean, obviously, if you're at home, maybe a little different, but
yeah.
I'm gonna go with Arkansas. They bounce back.
Yep, I think Arkansas gets it done. I know Bo Nix just had a road win a couple weeks ago at LSU, but I don't think he gets another one here. UCF, speaking of Auburn, their former coach Gus Malzahn and his UCF Golden Knights 3-2 at 5-0, number 3 ranked Cincinnati. And Cincinnati's a 21-point favorite.
Cincinnati covers that, and they just freaking roll. I think
they just got to keep making statements.
Yeah.
He's got to keep pounding these teams, and I think they'll be okay.
I think the fact they beat Notre Dame, it's like, okay, I think it's legit now. They can potentially, if they, again, like you said, if they can win, not need to win, but not only win, but prove that they're just head and shoulders above everybody else.
Win in convincing fashion. That'll go a long way. Number 12, Oklahoma State. Mike Gundy's got these boys 5-0.
Mm-hmm.
At 25 ranked Texas, who's 4-2, probably should be 5-1. That was an absolute meltdown, but what a game that was! Tons of talent, high flying plays, tons of points. I love watching that game every year.
Texas 5-point favorite. Ooh man, it's a pretty good game.
Yeah, give me Hook'em. I think Casey Thompson gets the win there. Yep, I think Sarkisian's gonna get them on the right track. I'm pretty impressed by his play calling. Number 20, Florida, 4-2 at 3-3 LSU. Florida's 11-point favorites down in Baton Rouge.
I think this is a game where, because I've got a friend who's an LSU fan. I think this is a game where the LSU faithful, they grill up Gator at the tailgates for this game.
I think you're right.
But oh man, poor Coach O. I'm not sure.
He's done, man. They got the paperwork working behind the scenes. He's a goner.
If let's say Florida blows them out by 20. Do you think he's done? Like
he might be fired next week.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. He's gonna get Gene Chizik. He's gonna 2 years after you win a title, you're out. It's not fair, but it's living in life in the SEC.
Yeah.
I think Florida rolls.
Yeah, especially a school like LSU that's been to the mountaintop a few times and knows what it takes. And I mean, he just had stupid talent 2 years ago and it all worked out. But
I think Florida rolls. Number 21, Texas A&M, who shocked the whole college football landscape over the weekend. Didn't see that one coming.
Nope.
At 3-3 Missouri, A&M is a 9-point favorite.
Do we feel a letdown coming? Or a little hangover from the being on top of
if they were playing any SEC team outside of Missouri or Vanderbilt, I would, but give me A&M.
Yep, I agree.
Number 11, Kentucky. They are 6-0 at number 1, Georgia 6-0, and Georgia's a 23-point favorite.
So is the score going to be like 27-3 because their defense is so freaking good?
Yeah, they don't give up touchdowns.
Yeah.
They are the best team in the country, in my opinion. I think Georgia wins right on the nose. I'll go right on 23.
When's the last time Georgia won a title? Obviously, they were close against Alabama. When they had when Fromm's freshman year, when it was Fromm versus Tua.
I will look that up.
But yeah, I think Georgia just dominates.
1980.
Wow.
They've won 6 titles: 1920, 27, 42, 46, 68, and 80.
Interesting.
Been a while.
I would not have guessed that.
Yeah.
Just by the way how they're respected and how good they always are. But
number 19, Brigham Young suffered their first loss last week against Boise State. They're 5-1, traveling to 5-1 Baylor. Baylor Bears are 6.5-point favorites.
Give me the Baylor Bears with the upset. It's really an upset if they're favored, but I think it's probably the ranking.
I'll go BYU in this one. I think they bounce back. I didn't think they'd lose to Boise last week, though. Number 5, Alabama at 3-2 Mississippi State, but Mississippi State is so close to being 5-0, it's not even funny. And Mississippi State beat A&M, but
can you imagine being at practice this whole week with Nick Saban after what happened?
No, I can't. Mike Leach and the boys, they can put up points, but not against a pissed off
coach. I love Mike Leach.
Not against a pissed off Alabama team. Give me Bama and they roll.
Large, yeah. Oh my God.
TCU at number 4, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's 6-0. TCU's 3-2. New quarterback for Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Casey Williams.
That story was pretty wild about. For those that know, there was a student reporter with binoculars saw the practice field from like a campus building and reported that.
Public building. Because this is the same school a year or two ago was so paranoid about students in the dorm that could see the practice field that they put some dark netting or tint on the windows.
It was like a fog
film,
glass.
like a film.
Yeah, so the kids can see it, which is. But yeah, they reported that the Spencer Rattler was taking snaps with second string, and all of a sudden there was no more media availability for the rest of the week until after the game. Funny how that works.
Yep.
I think Oklahoma. I think they win this one.
Yeah, they've been winning close games all year, but I like what I saw from that Williams kid, and kind of got feel for Spencer a little bit, but is what it is. They're trying to win a title, and they don't care that Raising Cane's and him have a sponsorship going. So good for him. Hey, milk it while you can. So I think Boomer Sooner rolls. Interesting one here, and I know you don't like one of these teams. Number 13, 4-1 Ole Miss at 4-2 Tennessee. Ole Miss is 2.5-point favorite.
Tennessee fans are getting too confident.
7:30 at night. Yeah, Knoxville. It's gonna be rocking.
It's gonna be rocking. Neal's gonna be rocking. Lane Kiffin, former Tennessee coach, who there were some rumors I think going around that he might have taken the Tennessee job when he was when Tennessee was looking for a new coach. The fans were running wild with whatever conspiracy you wanted to roll with.
I think they could have John Gruden right now if they want.
Yikes!
They've always wanted him. They've always wanted Gruden.
That was the time. I love Lane Kiffin when he's not coaching Tennessee.
Matt Corral's fun to watch. He might be the Heisman front runner right now.
Yeah, he's got some moxie to him, and
Ole Miss quarterbacks always do. Chad Kelly.
Yeah, I hope Ole Miss wins. As my friend who's a Tennessee fan told me, he goes, they're supposed to be good in basketball, supposed to be good in baseball. America will hate Tennessee fans if they have a good football team. And my response was, we don't already.
They're some of the most delusional fans in the country. They think it's 1998 still.
Yeah, please, Lane, for the love of God, just wax them.
I think Rocky Top wins, Webby. I Heupel's a pretty good coach.
The fact it's at Neyland it's gonna be a really cool environment.
Yeah. They've been putting up some points lately, man. Number 22, NC State, who is
4-1.
4-1, thank you. At Boston College, who's also 4-1. NC State is a 3-point favorite.
Yeah, Boston College kind of a surprise in the ACC this year.
Backup quarterback too.
Yeah, I still think NC State wins this one.
I'm just full of upsets tonight at home. Boston College. Number 18, Arizona State. Herm Edwards has them 5-1 at 3-2 Utah. This is a pick'em game according to my app.
Yep, same here. I've rolled with him. I think every time we've chosen the games, I'm going with Herm Edwards and the boys.
You have.
That's
I'll go
not
with
worked out.
Utah.
Yeah.
I'll go with Utah. I'm rolling with a lot of the home teams tonight. So should be another exciting week of college football. I don't know if we can get much more exciting than last week though. Last weekend was nuts around the country. No Notre Dame game this week. They're off on a bye. Should have lost to Virginia Tech. Somehow squeaked it out. Imagine that. I don't know if I see another loss on their forecast on their schedule.
Yeah, because what USC's not the USC.
North Carolina might be the most disappointing team in the country.
Sam Howell was like your Heisman front runner probably to start the year. Probably, I mean, him and probably Spencer were the two, and both of them have just not played well.
Nope.
He's not played up to their billing. So who is your Heisman front runner right now?
I mean, the kid at Fresno State puts up stupid stats, but it's not going to be him. I mean, I would still say Bryce Young, quarterback at Alabama, but Matt Corral, I mean, he's right there. Watch out for C.J. Stroud if Ohio State keeps pounding people.
Yeah.
There's a running back at Syracuse putting up some crazy numbers, but they're not good. But a lot of guys, like Brock Purdy's not putting up good stats at Iowa State this year, or they're not winning at least. Nobody else from the Big Ten really. I mean, you could say Walker from Michigan State has an outside shot, running back, Kenneth Walker to third, but I don't know. Nobody on Georgia.
Yeah, I couldn't tell a single player on Georgia.
I don't remember the last time it's been mid-October, and I feel like the Heisman race hadn't really started.
Right.
In a way. So it's been a while. But, yeah. Any other college football thoughts?
Oh, God. No, I can't think of any right now off the top of my head.
How about any college hoop thoughts? Big Ten Media Day was last week. Got a lot of good stuff from Painter.
Yeah, I mean, it was just funny to see. I mean, we know this is Purdue fans and listen to his interviews all the time, but it's just funny to see the media react to how in depth he'll go and not just do the normal coach speak, and he'll actually give legit answers. I think someone wrote that's like it's almost like he's trying to teach the media, like not like as being a jerk, but like actually teach them. Like he's obviously he's an opportunity to do that. But I mean, representatives were Sasha, Trey, and Eric, and which I thought were awesome representatives. I mean, they're the seniors. Sounds like they've all kind of said they're not coming back, but you never know. I mean, I think Sasha, there might be that potential door for him to come back if he wanted to.
Barring injury, we should say.
Yeah, barring injury, of course. But I mean, if we have the season that we're hoping for, I mean, sail off into the sunset, boys.
Yep.
But I mean, the media, I kind of forgot it was coming up at the time, and I'm like, it's a sign that basketball's almost here. I mean, I think November 4th is our first exhibition game.
Secret scrimmage should be coming up against Providence soon.
Yep. Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, I can't believe it's almost here. I feel like last season just ended, and we've just been, I think, just because just the hype has been so high around this team, and then everyone's kind of chomping at the bit to get back into Mackey finally, and give these guys a lot of these guys still haven't played in front of a true college crowd yet, so that'll be really cool to see for them.
Yep, it's gonna be an exciting season. High expectations. Everybody's picking them 1 or 2 in the Big Ten, along with Michigan.
And even John Rothstein says buy stock now and Brian Waddell. So let's go.
Yeah, I love hearing that from somebody other than Matt Painter, because that shows me he's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah,
and I'm still all for redshirting him. Put the red shirt on him this year.
What do you think about the idea that's been thrown around about redshirting Morton?
I honestly don't mind it. I mean, if he's all right with it, his family's all right with it. There's not enough minutes for all these guys.
No.
Somebody's going to get lost in shuffle, and say somebody's not playing well or somebody goes down injured during the year, you can always pull it.
Yep.
Put them in. I'm fine with it. I mean, we got 11 good guys, but they can't all play.
Yeah. I mean, one thing too, like about Painters, I mean, he's honest with these guys. It's not like, I mean, they'll know, and obviously he always leaves it up to the player, but if he thinks it's a good idea, then, which is, I mean, in today's college basketball world, it's crazy that he's still redshirting people, because just you don't see it a whole lot anymore, which is now with the one-time transfer rule and, everyone trying to cater to all these kids. But yeah, I mean, it just also shows the relationship that I think that Painter is able to build with some of these guys. If that, I mean, especially with someone like Brian Waddell, who, was going to do that. And obviously, you had Mason and Brandon 2 years ago when everyone was clamoring for them the red shirt to be pulled because we weren't doing very well. But yeah, I mean, you're probably gonna play 8, 9 guys, 9 at the most, probably. So like I said, someone's gonna get lost regardless, and it might make it a little bit easier.
Yep, and it's just too bad for him with the mono last year. Kind of put him at a disadvantage right away compared to everybody else.
Because everyone, I saw people on the boards, like, well, he'll just transfer. So it's like assuming everything goes according to plan, or just like no bad injuries, anybody, like there's gonna be a lot of minutes open next year.
Right.
You guys like Eric, Sasha gone, Jaden's probably gone.
Mm-hmm.
So you got, and then I'm definitely picking Morton over Braden Smith and Fletcher Lawyer coming in as freshmen. Like, and Painter definitely leans on experience, especially right away. So, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of time next year, and hopefully,
right.
Obviously, he'll lay it out like that. But hopefully, these kids can see, not just look, 1 year at a time.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna be fascinating to watch how it all plays out this year. What the rotation looks like. It's gonna change once Mason Gillis comes back too.
Right.
So, I'm really getting excited about Trey Kaufman-Wren. Not that I wasn't already, but Caleb First was Mr. Basketball. I feel like you heard more about Caleb First. Of course, I live up in northern Indiana, not southern Indiana, so I hear more about First. But lately, it's all been about how impressive Kaufman's been.
Yeah, it sounds like he's just a bucket. It sounds like.
Yep, which we haven't had that in a forward for a while. So, well, I mean, Swanigan was a bucket, but in a different way.
Yeah.
So it's it's fun. I'm ready for it. I'm excited. Also nervous, just because with high expectations comes some nerves, but it's a good spot to be in.
It's weird because when you have such high expectations, I feel like you don't enjoy the wins as much. It's like we're supposed to win, but like compared to like last year, where it was just like we had no expectations, and then the Ohio State game was like pure euphoria because it was like holy crap, we just knocked off a team on the road, but the game-winning shot, and the Michigan State game, and
you're gonna have your ups and downs. I mean, even last year we blew a 25-point lead or whatever to Miami. I mean, we're gonna have our ups and downs. So it's college basketball in a nutshell.
Gotta love it.
Just stay healthy, win a Big Ten title, and get a low seed and see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's so frustrating. I mean, not frustrating, but it's just be so good. And like the NCAA tournaments, while it's the most fun postseason tournament probably there is, it's also the absolute worst way to crown a champion. But hey, we're just along for the ride.
Friend of the pod and the host of the Full Steam Ahead podcast, Adam Bartels, just reminded us, but Painter can't recruit, remember?
Right.
Yeah,
that's right. I forget.
Yeah, he squashed that narrative a while back. Thank goodness. Yep. Continues to. Mm-hmm. So it's just a matter of time before he gets Final Four under his belt. I think. Mm-hmm. It's a matter of time. So we're lucky to have him. We're lucky to have him.
Absolutely.
Lucky to have him. So, any final thoughts before we wrap up this podcast?
I just score more than 13 points on Saturday, which is going to be even, easier said than done when you're going against an amazing defense that Iowa has. But I want to like to see something start clicking, whether it's either defense forcing turnovers, the offense just doing anything. It's scoring in the red zone to start. I mean, it sounds like they've maybe implemented some new stuff that they can probably work with, but you can go and do so much in practice before before the other team starts to adjust. So hopefully we can find the end zone when we're supposed to.
Hey, last time we played a number 2 ranked team in the nation, it worked well for us. So
it was pretty fun.
Maybe we can go and shock the world. But I'm not gonna do the full sponsor reads tonight. I got to get off this podcast here in a minute. But we do want to thank our sponsors, like always: Mad Mush, The Shop, Webb's Family Pharmacy, and Schroff Landscaping Nurseries. If you've listened to our podcast before, you're familiar with all those 4. You kind of know what they're offering right now. So, but use the promo codes. Use the promo code breakdown at the shop to get 25% off. And at Mad Mush, use the promo code break5 for $5 off any order over $20. That's in person or online at madmushroom.com. So, with that said, Webby, let's boiler up, hammer down, and beat the Hawkeyes.
Boiler up.